Kaboom. Guess who stepped in the room? Fellas, this Ray Liotta news just got us all shook, as we all were, big fans of the man and his work. So I want to dedicate this top 5 to Ray Liotta. So I dug in a big-ass grab bag, and I pulled out TJ's top 5 favorite Ray Liotta performances.
Outstanding.
All right, now coming in at number 5. You guys ever see the movie Something Wild?
Of course.
Okay, a lot of people haven't. It was I think it was a late 80s film, but it was Melanie Griffith and Jeff Daniels were starring, and Melanie Griffith is this free spirit woman who kind of kidnaps Jeff Daniels' yuppie character, and they go on a road trip, right? And then that's where Liotta comes in. He's Ray Sinclair. He's her ex-husband, who's also an ex-convict, and
bad dude,
and he shows up to make their lives hell. And this guy was so intense and so unbelievably scary, and just unbelievably, but believably, I should say, scary as Ray. And that was, I think, our first kind of like introduction to Ray Liotta and the type of characters that he could play. And so Something Wild with Melanie Griffith and Jeff Daniels and Ray. Coming at number 4, when this movie came out, I just kind of remember it wasn't like really critically acclaimed, right? It didn't, I don't know if it did well at the box office, whatever, but Sylvester Stallone put together a hell of an ensemble for this movie. You're talking Stallone, you have Harvey Keitel, you have De Niro, Robert Patrick, Peter Berg, Michael Rappaport.
Was Bruce Willis in it too?
Bruce Willis was not in this, but it's Copland. Copland. If you remember Copland, it was about a small town in New Jersey that pretty much a bunch of New York City cops lived in, and then corruption happened. The mob got involved, and Liotta plays a cop who you weren't really sure if you could trust this guy until the very end of the movie. You didn't know which way he would lean, but he was just a great performance by him. He played Gary Figgis, and I just watched this movie on Monday, as a matter of fact.
No kidding.
Yeah, just randomly. I hadn't watched Copland in years, and it was on, and I watched it.
Is that why you didn't text me back?
Yeah, well, that was just, I was ignoring you, but that was beside the point. So Copland coming in at number 4. At number 3, there's a movie, and this is one of these like mid-90s movies that I used to watch on VHS because I was a big fan of Madeline Stowe, and this is Unlawful Entry. If you've ever seen Unlawful Entry, this is Kurt Russell, Madeline Stowe. They're a married couple, right? And they're victims of a home invasion. Now, Ray Liotta comes, he plays Officer Pete Davis. He's a decorated but corrupt cop who becomes obsessed with Madeline Stowe's character, and I kind of understand that because, Madeline Stowe. I get it. Again, Ray Liotta is very menacing, right? But he has this endearing charm about him when he's even when he's doing horrible things, you're kind of like, okay, don't hate this guy, but he's a bad dude, not someone to be played with, and he was perfect for this role in Unlawful Entry. Coming in at number 2, I'll just say this: if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, buddy.
Field of Dreams, man. And this is the movie he had the least amount of screen time in, but this movie means so much to so many people. It's just almost a perfect film, and the father-son thing, and then Shoeless Joe coming out of the cornfield, and Kevin Costner.
They all still hate Ty Cobb. Yeah. I mean, that's funny.
And then Kevin Costner's tweet yesterday about Ray Liotta and how God gave him that stunt where Ray almost hits Ray in the movie with the baseball, man. It's just Field of Dreams is just an amazing movie, and I know that it has meaning for a whole lot of people. And then coming at number 1, I mean,
the one and only,
as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Nice.
Henry Hill, Goodfellas. The thing about Goodfellas, I never saw Goodfellas until I got to college, and I remember I had a political science class, and for 2 weeks our teacher just railed against this movie, its violence, the way it depicted Italian Americans. And after the second week of him like kind of knocking this movie, what 3 of us did? We walked right to the video store on Forbes Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, and we rented Goodfellas. And I'm telling you what, I mean, I know Godfather and Godfather 2 have the highest acclaim, but this might be the perfect mob movie.
Well, you never thought that there could be another movie that is equated with it.
Yeah, that you would put on that level.
Correct.
Yeah, and nice neighborhood kid transforms into a power player for the mob. My favorite Joe Pesci line in there, just, how you doing, Hendry? Remember how he would call him Hendry? Like, I don't know, man. We all love Goodfellas, and it's kind of weird to talk about Ray Liotta that he's gone, but those are TJ's top 5 favorite Ray Liotta performances, and as always, wondering what yours are.
Well done, sir. Well done. I don't think you can argue with that at all.
But people will, though.
If I had to argue with anything, I would swap 3 and 5. I'd put Something Wild at 3.
Yeah.
And what'd you have at 5 again?
I had Something Wild at 5, at Copland at 4, and Unlawful Entry.
Yeah, Unlawful Entry, I would swap that and Something Wild. But then again, it's your big-ass grab bag and your affixation with Madeline Stowe, which is totally understood. Seal Award is in that same world as well.
Yeah.
While we're being creepy. Yeah. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.